Welcome to Unselfishly Me, a podcast all about self-love, self-care, and everything in between. I'm Jane, a personal trainer with a focus on self-love. Each week, we'll be chatting to someone about their self-love journey, how long it took, and what it took to get there. For today's POWcast episode, I thought that I would do 12 things that I've learned in the first 12 months of motherhood. So in no particular order, breastfeeding is not easy for everyone. There are ups and downs. There are problems with your latch. There are problems with everything. So don't put so much pressure on yourself. And don't have these preconceived ideas that everything's going to go perfectly and it's just like in the movies where they just kind of latch on and they drink and it's easy. It is not. It is also very painful. Some people don't have pain and that's amazing, but other people, they do. And if you think about it, your body is not used to this. So there will be cracking, there will be splitting, there will be bleeding. It is not ideal. So I was told that the first 7 weeks are the hardest, so just push through. And I'm lucky that I listened because I was ready to give up so many times. Got to the point where my friend Lulu Physio, you've heard her on here before, she is a pelvic floor specialist physio, and she has lasers that she rents out to her patients. So I'm lucky that I could get a little handheld laser and I use that, and it really helped to heal it up. But yeah, it is quite painful the first 7 weeks. And Claire from Grow Lactation had said it shouldn't make you want to cry. If it makes you want to cry, it is not okay. And then it might be a tongue tie or a lip tie. So that is something also to look into. Paper had a tongue tie, but she got corrected at 8 weeks. But now we found out that she also has a lip tie because it is painful, and that is why. So he didn't do both at the same time, which would have been ideal. So I have had pain, but I've just soldiered on. It only really got sore the last 6 months when her suction, is much stronger as they get older. So I didn't really notice it in the beginning. But also shields save lives. So if they are biting you or too sore, then also try shields, like the Medela shields as well. They really do help. If you are formula feeding, then the Tommy TP bottle maker is ideal. It makes the bottle in a minute at the right temperature and the right milliliters as well. So if you are looking for quick and easy, not having to boil kettles and all that kind of stuff, then that really is ideal for getting them ready super quick. So have a look into that. And Take A Lot often has it on special, and they'll be 1,000 Rand off. I give her one formula bottle because she had to top up in the beginning because she was so tiny, and I just kept giving her the one bottle instead of topping up 20 mils after each feed. I just kept giving her nighttime bottle as formula. So the machine is kind of wasted on me because I use it once a day, but it is so much easier and it makes life easier. So if you are a formula mama, if you are making 8 bottles a day, honestly, do yourself a favor. You will be so happy with it after the first week. Babies can sleep anywhere. I had her in a pod in the bed with me, and then I moved her from the pod in the bed to the pod in the cot. So even if you don't have a cot and you are rushing and you feel like you haven't got anything or you can't afford a cot, don't even feel bad about it. Get a little pod. You get the ones that are, I think it's Sleepy Time or something. They're 350 Rand, I think, at Pick and Pay and Baby City and all those places. And you can literally put them on top of the changing table, or on a chair, or on a normal dining room table. If you've got a table, you can put them on a pod on there. You don't have to go and get an expensive cot if you don't need to. And on that, you don't actually need a compactum. A compactum is a fancy word for chest of drawers. I just have a normal chest of drawers, and you put a changing mat on top, which I ended up moving her changing mat to the bed because she started rolling, and then she would roll off and it was just too stressful. So she's been getting changed on the top of the bed with one of those old school big white nappy, cotton nappies. I have that under as a towel, and I've been changing her on the bed this whole time. Wearing your baby is the quickest way of getting them to settle. and your arms will get tired after a while. So the quickest and easiest way I find is in a baby carrier. I have the Ubuntu Baba and it is amazing. And whenever she was fussing, I would just pop her in there, and literally I think it was like 2 minutes later she was asleep. Also I had a treadmill, so I would just walk on the treadmill and she'd be asleep in like 30 seconds. So if your baby is fussy, and even if it's not every day, but every so often they're being like ridiculous, pop it on, pop them in, and walk around the house. It'll be fun, and you will see they will get to sleeping very quickly. And then you can make yourself some tea or some food. Even when they're not fussy, it just helps you to be able to do like normal life stuff, and you can actually make yourself food and do things, because it's really hard to do it with like your arm and on your hip. Every age and milestone is difficult. Like you can't compare and be like, oh, the newborn phase is so easy compared to now. And other people are like, oh, you're so lucky that you threw the newborn phase and you're now at the walking and talking phase. It's like they all have their challenges. Like now she has 1 nap a day, so I don't actually get work done. Whereas when she was newborn and up to like 4 months, when they're sleeping so many times a day, I think she was having like 3 naps a day or something. I can't even remember, so long ago now. But I got so much work done because she would sleep, and she'd just literally sleep on the table in the pod next to me, and it was amazing. Like an hour or 45 minutes and I get so much work done. Whereas now I literally get an hour of work done if I'm lucky. So it's very hard. And her sleep is not great right now. She wakes up in the middle of the night and stays awake for 2 hours. Whereas when she was new, I feel more tired now than I did when she was newborn to 4 months, because then I would feed her every 2 or 3 hours, but she goes straight back to sleep afterwards. So it's not as interrupted. And while you're feeding them, you can kind of like doze. It's not the end of the world. So I feel more tired now having to stay up with her for 2 hours and constantly being like, please go to sleep, please go to sleep, please go to sleep. She'll feed and then just sit up and be like, this is fun. Let's start talking. I want to start talking. Oh, let me play Peepo with the pillow. It's so fun. So I've learned that none of the stages are easy. They all have their own set of challenges. But yeah, I do find that I had more time to work and get things done when she was smaller and when she stayed in one place. Now she's walking, and she is walking everywhere and to the glass cabinet and here and there, and all I do all day is run after her and tell her no and pull her away from things. I've also learned that when your child gets to the age where she can laugh properly, I'm talking like 11, 12 months, it is the best thing that you will ever hear in your whole entire life. And it is the one thing that can lift you out of a shitty day. It is the most rewarding thing you can ever hear. And it is just so cute, honestly. And then you end up laughing because it's so cute. So that is something to look forward to. And it literally is the best thing ever. I've learned that when they start crawling, your life is over. No, I'm joking, but not really. When they are immobile, it's so nice. When they start crawling, it's fun. They're like, crawl, crawl, stop. When they start crawling fast, you are tickets. And then when they start walking, obviously. But when they are immobile, it is actually so nice. You need to appreciate that more and know that even though they're frustrated, it's for your own benefit because they can't go anywhere. But that is, just so much better when they're immobile. While going to baby classes is not essential, it really does make a difference in their development. If you're at home and you can do it yourself, that's great. But it's so nice for them to socialize and see other babies and be around. We started baby brassards at 4 months old. And she really enjoyed it, and she was very social. And I think it's more also for the moms. You get to meet other moms, you can vent, you can share stories, and you can make friends with people at the same age with your kids, which is also really nice. So even though you think it's not a necessity, which it isn't, as long as it's something you want to do, it really is worth it. I've learned that when they start solids, and drop those extra feeds, it gives you a little bit more freedom. You can warm up their food, give it to someone else to feed them, and then go to work or do whatever. But I've also learned that you will miss that extra little bonding time that you have with them. So in the beginning, it feels like you're so trapped and you are just needed so much and you feel quite overwhelmed. But then when it comes to it and you start giving them their solids like 6-7 months, it really, you miss those feeds that they drop as well, which I never thought I would ever say, but you do. You feel like that's a bit odd that I'm missing that. Even now, because she has her formula bottle at night, and then she wakes up in the middle of the night and I feed her, and she has a morning feed, so she only really has like 2. Sometimes lately she's been asking for more. Oh, that's another thing, is baby sign language is so underrated, and it is the best thing we ever did. My friend Galen owns the company called Signing Baby SA, and she has an ebook. It's incredible. It's definitely going to be my go-to gift when people have babies. I don't have any friends that are pregnant right now, otherwise I'll be buying it for them. But we've been doing it since she was 6 months old. So handy. She literally cottoned onto it so quickly. The first one we taught her was sleep. And so they kind of make it their own. So instead of putting your hands to your, side of your head, like you want to go sleep, which we did that to her, she'd put her hand in front of her forehead and like flap it. Even today, like she still does that. So that's her version of sleepy time. And then the next one was drink. So she would literally tell me when she wanted a drink, and she still does now. So when she wakes up, she'll look at me and she'll just do the hands like, no. And even sometimes she just comes up to me in the lounge and she'll be like, drink. So I'll offer her water or tea. But then after that, I know that it's actually milk. And she does aeroplane. What else there? I'm teaching her more. So if she wants more, teaching her please and thank you and eat. Yeah, there's so many that I'm teaching her, but the fact that she got airplane is incredible. But yeah, she's getting there slowly, but it's just so handy to know when they want to drink and eat and tired and that kind of stuff. So highly, highly recommend it. I didn't really know too much about it before, but it really has changed things for us. I've also learned that those normal high chairs, they don't have a strap to click in. Your child, if they, or anything like Pepe, will try and escape. Dinner times were the worst. I was so stressful because she just kept on trying to climb out. She would literally just stand straight up, because the one I got was like a cheap one from Hypermarket. Didn't have a click-in one. And then I saw that they have a new Bumbo which goes on a chair and it clicks around and underneath, so they can't move. But it's so handy because you can take it wherever you go. So if you're traveling, you can take it, because it's always going to be a chair that they can click onto in a restaurant or wherever. So really handy. And it goes from, I don't know what it's from, till 36 months. So don't think it's 12 to 36 months. I think it's 6 months to 36 months. And it's got a little tray that clicks on, and it's really, really handy. So I've learned that there are better chairs out there for you than the normal ones that you think you want, because you want them to be at the table with you. So this is a nice way of being at the table with you without the stress of them just literally standing up in their chair. The one day she even stood up and then put her foot onto the tray part and was trying to get out. So it is very stressful when you have a danger child. I've also learned in the beginning, she had so much gas, like who knew that gas could be so painful for them? They used to scream. She was a little screamer every time she was trying to pass gas. That, I don't know if she had colic, because she would spit up a bit. I don't know if she had silent reflux. It was just, that like witching hours from 5 to 8 p.m. used to be horrific. But she kind of grew out of that as well. So they call them also like the happy pukers, where they're actually fine. They like spit up, but there's not anything wrong with them. I just kind of pushed through, didn't go get it checked by the ped, just kind of carried on and checked what was going on. And then the gas, it's like everyone said she'll grow out of it. They'll grow out of it when they can burp themselves. I think it's around 4 months or so when they start burping themselves, or they like kind of catch on to the concept and they can do it themselves. But yeah, hers was mostly when she was trying to fart or poop. Shame. So we eventually used Colic Calm, even though she wasn't colicky, but it was like the same kind of symptoms. And if you can ease that naturally, it really did make a difference. So who knew that gas would cause so much pain. Even now, she'll wake herself up, I think, if she's like got gas, wake up crying at like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever it is. And then I have to and as I pick her up, it's like, wow. So I'm like, I'm sorry. So it was much, much better when she could do it herself. I've also learned that teething is as bad as they say it is. I'm very lucky though, she doesn't get a fever when she teethes, and her stomach isn't upset and things like that. She just gets quite whiny and clingy, and she likes to wake up a lot. So that's my greatness. That's quite challenging. I use the Greg's teething mix from Sunningdale Pharmacy. Everyone uses different things. Some people have said Nurofen. I haven't tried that. I don't even have any of that. I've only got Panado here. But everyone's different. So you just got to try what works for you. A lot of people say those teething necklaces. I've never even bought one or tried one. Just do what you can with what you have. I've learned that breastfeeding is great for the immune systems. Pepe has had one cold in 13 months, which is incredible. I think that I pat myself on the back. I think I've done really well, even though we used to go out a lot in the beginning. Obviously before lockdown, we used to go out all the time, take her everywhere. And her immune system is really strong. I mean, I've been taking Amazoil as well the whole of my pregnancy. So she's basically an Amazoil baby. And that's a natural gut health supplement. So she's got some of that in her too. So she's been really healthy. So I'm really, really lucky. We've only been to the ped, for the 8-week checkup, I think. And then we meant to go for the 1 year, and we haven't gone yet because I don't want to take her now while it's so risky. So she's been very healthy. Not all babies get sick all the time. So I'm very lucky that that's the case. Also, she stays at home. I haven't taken her to childcare, so that also definitely helps with not having illness. I've also learned that they all grow at their own rate. She's only 10 kgs now. I can feel it, but she's still tiny. I've got most of my friends' babies that are a few months younger than her are 10 already. So she's still petite. She's very tall. That's another thing I've learned. Growth spurts happen. She's suddenly so tall. It feels like she's just grown 15 centimeters overnight. I need to measure her again and weigh her again. Weighed her the other day. She was 9.6. So she's definitely 10-ish now. But they just grow at different rates, and there's no right or wrong way to do things. There's no right or wrong way to be as a parent. I think I had a lot of pressure on myself from the start, and I was like, no TV in the background. I didn't for the first few months. Only now when she's been walking have we really, actually it's mostly because of lockdown. Because we would be out and about, we would be at the promenades, we'd be out in the coffee shops, we'd be at Gateway, but now because you have to stay at home, it's been really hard, especially not without a lot of help. So I've learned that I was one of those people who said no screen time, and now I put on little baby bums. At least it's the educational ones. I don't put on rubbish. So she's learning colors, and pandas, her favorite, and she points at them, and the cat. There's been a cat on the roof by our house, and now she points, and Mom says she started saying meow. I missed it, I didn't see it, but on the TV on that program they go meow meow, they make all the sounds. So she's seeing colors and numbers and different animals, and I'm aware the one monkey character is in the bath and they're talking about the washing and brushing teeth and this and that, and he takes a toothbrush and he washes his toes, and I just said her toes were dirty, her toenails the one day, and I said, okay, just use this old toothbrush to wash it, and we did it once. Ever since then, she's seen it on that show, and now she takes the toothbrush and she brushes her own toes in the bath because he does it, and loves to brush her teeth because he does it. And then also apples. She's obsessed with apples and with bananas. And I'm convinced it's also because they are eating the apples and the bananas in the show as well. So I've learned that not all TV is bad. Some educational shows are actually really good because it's teaching them good skills as well. And that is way more than 12. And I actually have so many more. But yeah, I'll have to add those to another day. But yeah, those are just more than 12 things that I've learned in 12 months. A few others are always ask for help, get people to make you food, take time for yourself. Babies will always sense when you're in the bath. She always senses when I'm relaxing and then cries to wake up. Reading was your old life. Packing to go away is another level. There's more baby stuff than yours. People will always tell you how big your baby is getting, and it will make you very sad. It's like, we know, we see every day. Please stop reminding us. Yeah, and I'll just put these other tips and tricks in another podcast, but also that blowouts will happen at the worst times, and it happened every time we went to Woolies. So be prepared with always having at least an extra change of clothes for them in their baby bag and yourself. That's just a little tip from me to you. And an extra blanket. So yeah, they will always happen in the most inopportune times. But I hope you enjoyed that little POWcast update. A little few more than 12 things I've learned in 12 months. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening to Unselfishly Me. Follow us on Instagram at unselfishlyme and check out our website www.unselfishlyme.com.